ओम सदाशिवसमारंभां शंकराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् अखण्डं सच्चिदानन्दम् अवाङ्मनसगोचरम् आत्मानम् अखिलाधारम् आश्रये भीष्टसिद्धये अर्थतोऽपि अद्वयानन्दान् अतीतद्वैतभानतः गुरुनाराध्य वेदांत सारं वक्ष्ये यथामतिः। जानकी जीवनस्मरणं श्रीराम रामेति के
अभी तो उससे नहीं नहीं कल उसने आधा डब्बा डाला ना।
Okay, any questions, clarifications?
ठीक है
You can even ask anything that you want about Rama if you want to, because today is Ramanavami, so I'm open to that as well. Okay. I know I did that Ramayana series of about 18 lectures, but that is only the story. I have not gone into the philosophical aspect so much there, because I wanted people to be aware of the actual story. Because you hear so many things. I followed Valmiki and I said, this is it. Okay. Okay.
So, North we mostly read Tulsi Ramayana. That is.
Yeah, in North India, Tulsi Ramayana is popular. That is true. But if you want to debate or clarify about anything about Rama's life or his actions, you must follow Valmiki, because there is an authentic text.
Achha.
Tulsi, Kambar, etc. are very devotion oriented.
Yeah.
They are beautiful in their own way, and they make certain things easier to explain. You know, and not certain historical points. They make it easier.
Swamiji, there is also another Adhyatma Ramayana.
Yeah, there is Adhyatma Ramayana, looking at it philosophically. There are over 300 Ramayanas available. But if you want to question what Rama did not do, what is his principles, what is this thing there, follow Valmiki, because that is the original. Everything else is a spin-off.
Yeah. And the good text to read for Valmiki is the Gita Press one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what Swami also said.
Yeah. Valmiki is the authentic text. Otherwise, somebody will ask me questions after seeing that B.R. Chopra's serial. I am not responsible for what that champion says.
Swamiji, we did with Swamiji, no? So we were talking about Rama, Dharma and all.
Yeah.
So one incident we said, na, that was that after the battle is won, when Sitaji comes, that time Rama tells her to go in the Agni Pariksha. So that I don't know. I was surprised about that.
Okay, let me clarify something. Maybe you didn't get it right. Rama does not ask Sita to go through an Agni Pariksha. That was Sita's choice.
Achha.
See, Rama indicates. See, you should also understand the play between a king and his queen, a husband and wife, two hearts that was beating as one. You should understand that play. You know, when you read a book like this, you should understand the nuances. As soon as the war is won, Rama tells Hanumanji, with Vibhishna's permission, go and tell Sita to come dressed up as the queen. So Hanumanji says, yes, sir. He goes. So Sita says, I'm impatient to see my king. I want to go like as I am. I want to rush to him right now. So Hanumanji says, well, the prince has said to come decked as a queen, dressed up as a queen. Sita is a bit puzzled. Come on here. We've been apart for almost a year and in such horrible conditions. Then her face clears up. She understands what he meant. And then she goes with all the Vanaras crowding around to have a glimpse of her. Because this is a lady for whom they have fought and died. So they all go, and she makes a slow way in a palanquin to Rama, where Rama is standing. And Rama tells her something which is very surprising. You would normally expect a couple in love to rush to each other and embrace each other. Don't say embracing was not in our culture, okay? Don't tell me nonsense like that. Yeah. Our ancestors wrote the Kama Sutra, so we know what it is all about. Okay. And when Sita comes, Rama tells her, I have followed my duty as a king. You are a free woman. Sita looks at him and understands the message that we are no more just Rama and Sita in the forest. Within a couple of days, we will be taking over the reins of Ayodhya, the kingship in Ayodhya. A king and a spouse should be above suspicion. So this is what Rama is indicated by that statement, which Sita understands. So she tells Lakshmana to gather firewood and set for the Agni Pariksha. So this is an interesting play that happens between Rama and Sita. And you know what? The Agni Pariksha was invented by a Rishika, by a woman. So all of you who have ideas of patriarchy, etc., forget it, okay? Yeah. For men also there were other traits, other things, tests were there. Okay? Yeah. So this is how it happens. It is not Rama asking her. It
So
is
2 times Agni Pariksha.
once.
No, once, and then she goes in the Bhumi in the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even there is no banishment. Sita decides to bring up the princess away from the politics of the court. Remember, Sita is Bhudevi. No, she is the daughter of the earth. She wanted to bring up her kids in natural surroundings, away from the politics of the court, away from the celebrity status that they would have enjoyed, away from the photographers and the media. She wanted to bring them up in natural surroundings and let them discover their father later when they were ready for it. That's why she goes to Valmiki's ashram. Rama knows she is in Valmiki's ashram. But respecting her wishes, even though he would love to see his kids, he doesn't go. That's why what Ramayana highlights is that duty orientation was so high. Now you and I don't have to follow that high duty orientation because we are not kings. But as a king, the duty orientation was so high. Now it is the other way around. We follow better, our duty is better than the politicians do. Yeah. So that is what is highlighted there. So Rama's life was not always a happy life. No. The first 20 years of his life with Sita was very happy. After that, all the Vanavasa was happy. Then Ravana came into the picture, there was a problem. Then she went off to Valmiki's ashram. So that is again separation. Then she decides, I've handed over the princess to the father, now let me go. So she decides to go. Is it unfair? Both of them are not complaining.
Yeah, we are only complaining.
Yeah, both of them are not complaining. None of the rishis are finding fault. Remember, Vasishtha, Vishwamitra, all were there at that time. All of them were there at that time. None of them are finding fault. You and I from a different era, looking back at that era with the values of this era, is trying to find fault. Yeah. It requires some cultural understanding, you know. Yeah. So the rulers were held in high standards. You had to set the standards. So that's why the whole thing came up. And people praise also. Ravana did not touch Sita, you know. He could have exploited her. He was under a curse that if he touched a woman against her will, he would fall down dead at that time itself. There is a curse on Ravana like that. Because he had raped someone else earlier, and she cursed him that if he touches any woman without her consent, that moment he will die. So that is what kept him. You know, we don't know all these. Makers of serials don't read the original, and then they go on talking any nonsense. And there are people like Amish Tripathi, etc., who write without any idea what it is. Amish Tripathi, then who's that other character? Patnaik, that another idiot. All these people write, you know, without really understanding the culture or without reading the original. They hear some stories here and there and make up their own. Unfortunate. But more than them, we are to be blamed because we don't know our heritage. Then some people will always exploit our ignorance. So why are we being ignorant? Translations of the original Valmiki is available in English. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Gorakhpur, Gita Press Gorakhpur publication. Of course, a big fat book was available. So why don't we? So they will do what they have to make their money. We need to do what we need to do to have our understanding. Mahabharata is also available, full translation. Yeah. Difficult, even though it's in English, because 1 lakh verses. Yeah. If you want how Rama gained his knowledge, read Yoga Vasishtha, 32,000 verses. And there is a Lagu Yoga Vasishtha available, a small adaptation of that book, which is much smaller, with a translation in English, etc. Now, don't ask me the publisher, etc. I don't remember it. I read it some 30 years, 40 years back. Okay, yeah. I don't have those copies myself, but I'm sure on Amazon, etc., it will be available. Yeah. So all these are available. Yeah. So let's see. Okay. Any other questions or clarifications? Or shall we get to into the text? So we saw up to pranayama last time, right? And Ashtanga Yoga, Yama Niyama, Asana, Pranayama. These 4 we have seen. Okay. All right. Then the next one is Pratyahara. What is that? Indriyanam swasya vishebhyaha pratyaharanam pratyahara. To withdraw the sense organs from their various fields of pursuit, from their various fields of activity. Eyes, ears, all that. Withdraw. This is meant, total withdrawal is meant at the seat of meditation. Because remember, samadhi is the culmination of yoga. Therefore, after you have done your asana, pranayama, etc., pratyahara, you sit down for your meditation, then you are withdrawing everything. The same principle is also applied in life, pratyahara. So I find some foolish yoga teachers saying, don't read newspaper, don't watch TV in the name of pratyahara. That means what? You will be completely unawareful of what's happening in the world. And yoga is about an awareful life, not an unawareful life. So if you are saying don't you read the newspaper or watch news, etc., that is not pratyahara. That being tamasic. In life, pratyahara can be cutting down unnecessary activities, time waste activities. Now, what is time waste activities? I have a cousin. When the TV serial comes on, he doesn't watch the TV. But when all the ads comes on, he is watching it very seriously. Why? Because he runs an ad agency, he wants to know what is happening on the field. He runs an ad agency. So for him that is work. That is not time waste. For you and me it may be time waste. Yeah. Why do you have to go and see Sandu Bam, Pida, Hari Bam? Why do you have to see that? For you and me it is time waste, okay, but not for that guy. So, pratyahara would be to live by your priorities. Anything other than your priorities is time waste. Because it's not important to you. If it is not important to you, it's time waste. So, pratyahara for a student of Vedanta or a student of yoga would be to live by your priorities. But Swamiji, we need some entertainment in life. No? Of course, entertainment, relaxation is part of your priority because it's part of your health. But sitting down in front of the TV endlessly going, 1 to 500, 500 to 1 and cursing all the program, no good program, that is time waste. Want to see something good? Please see. Yeah, please see. Fine. Yeah. Because that is part of your relaxation. So, pratyahara, to live by your priorities and at the seat of meditation, completely withdraw. Which Krishna says in the Gita very interestingly, Bahir Vishayan Bahi Krutva. Keep the external objects external. Don't get your involvement into them. Don't internalize them. How do you not internalize them? By putting the shutters down here. Yeah. You can't help hearing sounds, you learn to ignore them. Eyes you can close. What do you do about your nose? That's why generally people will light an agarbatti or something like that. So this pleasant smells only they will get. If you can ignore, people living in Bombay have learned to ignore, not a problem. You get all types of smells when you walk on the road. Yeah. Skin, well, nobody is going to come and touch you when you are meditating. Ignore. Fly comes and sit on you, not a problem. Ignore. Yeah. So, pratyahara at the seat of meditation is total. In your life, it is living by priorities. Then pratyahara happens very naturally. Then dharanam, focusing. How to focus? Advitiya vastuni antarindriya dharanam dharana. To focus on the advitiya vastu. Focus on the reality. Let all your attention be on the reality, not on anything else. So in meditation, this may take a few steps. Now, dharana in this context, this is in the Vedantic context, okay? You are focusing on the reality, on the learning. In the yoga concept, it can be on anything, okay? To learn to focus on something. Your tratak will also be a part of dharana practice. Tratak with a lamp or a finger in front of you and all that stuff. So dharana, there are two types of dharana. It's not mentioned here, but I'd like to draw your attention to it. One is focused attention. Like if I hold a pen up here, this is focused attention. All of you can try it. Hold a thumb in front of your hand, in front of your face. Hold a thumb up. If you completely focus on that thumb, that is dharana. That is focus. Then another type of dharana is diffused awareness. What is diffused awareness? Hold the thumb up, but don't look at the thumb. Look at the space in between you and the thumb. You'll find the thumb disappears, everything else, there's a diffused awareness. You're not focusing on any one thing, but your awareness is diffused. You can do it without the thumb also. There's diffused awareness. You're sitting down, aware of anything without concentrating on anything. In life, the diffused awareness is very, very important. Especially if you are walking on the Bombay roads with traffic being haywire. Diffused awareness is very good. It prevents all accidents. When you are driving, you need diffused awareness. You don't know who's coming from the back and banging you. Diffused awareness. And then you learn to have both simultaneously. Focus on one thing and diffused awareness on everything else. That was Arjuna on the battlefield of Mahabharata. Focus on the person who is fighting with him, the Maharathi who is in front. His friend is in trouble there. His friend is in trouble elsewhere. So, half a dozen arrows are fired in support of his friend. Diffused awareness. His focus is here, but diffused awareness also there, simultaneously. If you can do that, you are a yogi, all right. Okay, this is dharana. Yeah, this is real dharana. To be able to focus, at the same time have diffused awareness of all that is happening. It takes some time, takes some practice. It takes quietening that inner chatter that drags you away to everything else. Japa Dhyanam helps you in quietening that inner chatter. Then you can practice these things. Okay.
So will it be efficient multitasking?
Unless you can do these two, dharana, unless you master dharana, your multitasking is actually half-hearted efforts at half a dozen things. You are not really multitasking. Multitasking really happens when you have good dharana. Otherwise, it's very, you're breaking up, focus from one to the other, to the other, to the other.
Oh, sab gadbad, okay.
Everything need not be gadbad, not that bad. That's why most of the tasks you will multitask in will be for you mechanical. Like for most women, cooking is a mechanical activity. So done it so many times, it's happened. So cutting vegetables and watching TV happens. You won't cut your finger. You will only cut the lady's finger. Yeah. That happens because you are used to that level of where the attention required is not so much, it can happen. But where a lot of attention is required, then you have to master dharana before you can multitask.
Swamiji, can it be compared to the central and peripheral vision?
That is only as far as vision is concerned, yes. But this is for the whole awareness, all your sense organs.
Thank you.
Yeah. That means you are listening to your girlfriend, at the same time be aware of what's happening in the surroundings. This is not like the man reading the newspaper in the morning over a cup of tea and saying, every couple of minutes. And his wife tells him, you can stop saying I stopped speaking 5 minutes back. So, this is not like that, okay? This is not like that. Yeah. Your attention has been good enough to repeat the conversation or the essence of the conversation without any problems. You understood the spirit of what has been said. At the same time, you have been awareful of what's happening elsewhere. It is a diffused awareness is something like what your pet dog has. When the dog is sleeping also, one ear is cocked. I am a bit hard of hearing, but any unnatural sound I'll pick up immediately. I am hard of hearing actually, but any unnatural sound I'll pick up. This is part of the dharana practice, etc. that is done. Okay. Then after dharana, dhyana and samadhi. Okay. Now look at it. When you are describing, it's all taken as steps 1, 2, 3. It all coalesce into one. Dharana, dhyana, samadhi will coalesce into one. That is why Vivekananda took these three and called it Raja Yoga. If you look at Vivekananda's writings, he called these last three as Raja Yoga. But remember, the last three cannot happen that easily unless the first 5 has happened. In some form or the other, it is not that it has to be that only if you practice yoga asanas it will happen. You have to touch your toes, you have to twist your body, No. You need physical activities done in an awareful manner that will help you master the body. Therefore, there can be more than one ways of doing it. Okay. I hardly done any yoga asanas, but this thing came from my martial arts. So that's another way. So there are various ways of doing the same thing. Okay. Various ways, various forms of exercising are also there. The idea is what? Breath, body, mind together. Body, breath and mind together, you are harmonizing the whole function. If that is done, it is done. So there can be more than one ways of doing it. Because it is a finite thing. Therefore, they can be done 100 different ways. 100 different ways it can be done. Right. Now remember, does everyone have to go through this? Some amount of it will be good. But if you already have a contemplative mind because of some sadhanas done in previous lifetime, then what? Then you may not need it. Or if you are naturally contemplative, again naturally contemplative means some lifetime you have done some work on these things and you have been born with a thing. So in Vedanta, yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, etc. is taken care of by karma yoga buddhi. Karma yoga buddhi takes care of all the first 5 steps. Yeah. Because your life is converted into a sadhana. No? So karma yoga buddhi replaces this. But if in spite of living a life of karma yoga, if you find yourself wanting, then go into these. Go into these. Why? Because as we say in martial arts, your focus requires some more focus. So because of that, you need to work on some things. You need to work on some things. So work on it. Yeah, work on it. So up to each person. Nowadays most people do some yoga asana, pranayama a little bit because they are all interested in health, which is good. But you have to also, as I said, do it in a meditative fashion. That's why most yoga teachers will say, get into a pose and watch it. No? Feel the sensation, watch the body in that pose, etc. Yeah. But then the problem comes up, we cannot hold that pose more than couple of minutes. Then another problem comes up, yeah. Then do your meditative practices in simpler poses. Like you can't hold an Ardha Matsyendrasana for 5 minutes or 10 minutes. Please don't try, okay? Your internal organs will go into a spasm. 10 minutes, etc. If you try, dangerous. Yeah. But a Virasana you can hold it for 10 minutes without problems. Virasana, Virabhadrasana, all those things can be held. Yeah. So be careful. Work with the help of a yoga teacher who knows these things, okay? The problem of something becoming popular is you have teachers who have done, Swamiji, I have done 50 hours of training and become a teacher. Acha, where did you learn? Online. Narayana. Yeah, I'll teach you martial arts also online. I'll see. And after that, straight, after 3 months, after 1 year of teaching you online, I will put you into a combat situation. Bahut maja aayega. You will learn how much you know. You get bashed up. Final truth is there. Yeah. Okay. All right. After dharana, dhyana and samadhi. All right. So now what is dhyanam? Tatra advitiya vasuni vichhidya ante indriya vritti pravaha dhyanam. Antendriya vritti pravaha dhyanam. What is meditation? He says, Antendriya, the sense organ inside your mind, that is, Advitiya vastuni vritti pravaha dhyanam. The vritti pravaha, the flow of thought towards the Advitiya vastu or with respect to the Advitiya vastu is called dhyanam. This dhyanam is very different from the yoga dhyanam. Yoga dhyanam is about quietening your mind. No thought stage. Okay, that is yogic dhyanam. This has been, it has been reinterpreted in the light of Vedanta. So he says, continually bringing into your mind the essence of the teaching. But he adds a condition there, vichhidya, but it may be broken up. Acha, I must break it up. You need not break it up. Breaking up happens because of the disturbances that you don't have mastery over. Okay, Shuddham Chaitanyam, Shuddha. I am that Shuddha Chaitanya, pure consciousness, Shuddha. I knew this girl called Sudha, where is she now? Hey, you are talking about Shuddha Chaitanya, not Sudha. So entirely different word, but by association you think. Don't ask me who Sudha is, I don't know. I don't know any girl called Sudha.
Swamiji, can I ask
Yeah,
a question?
shoot.
So if you look at the translation of 206, 207, no?
Yeah.
Then from the Vedantic point of view, it says dharanam is concentration, means the fixing of the mind on Brahman.
Yeah.
And this says meditation is the intermittent resting of the mental state on
Yeah.
Brahman. So what exactly is the
There's no, that's why I'm saying when practice it'll all flow one into the other. Only for understanding we are making the difference. Now why intermittent? Because as I said, disturbances will happen. Your mind will move away. Your mind will move. Yeah. Because you are not yet mastered the mind. So until mastery of the mind is there, these disturbances will take your mind away. You focus on Brahman and bring in the essence of the teaching. Come on, start doing it. But it may get broken up. Suddenly a mosquito bites you. Forget dharanam, even pratyahara is gone. You slap that mosquito and find the mosquito is already gone. You are slapping yourself. Then, chalo, dharanam, dhyanam, again, pratyahara, dharana. Again, this happens. It'll happen. Phone rings. Arey, I forgot to put it on silent. Thanks for reminding me. I forgot to put it on silent. Yeah. होता है. So, like this, disturbances will come. It is not that disturbances won't come if you are living in an ashram in Rishikesh. There also disturbances will be there. Yeah. Like this guy came to Rishikesh, sadhu बनने के लिए. I want to meditate, so he came to Rishikesh. But Rishikesh is a sadhu society, there are a lot of sadhus around. So a lot of discussion, debate, etc. happens. Said, yeah, too many disturbances here. So he left Rishikesh and went higher up, 100 kilometers higher up to Uttarkashi. Very good, अच्छा है, good place, very nice place. Okay. Fine. But Uttarkashi, there are 300 varieties of birds and they make all the noise. अरे यार इधर भी ध्यान नहीं लग रहा है, बहुत डिस्टर्बेंस हो रहा है. So he went higher up and I was taking a group to Gangotri. I met him in Gangotri. महाराज जी ध्यान सब कैसा चल रहा है अभी? क्या बोलूं महाराज जी, what to talk? Ganga is taking too much of noise. That is true. In Gangotri, she makes the noise, you are supposed to shut up and listen. I said, Maharaj ji, no problems. Gomukh chale jaiye na. Go to Gomukh. Cross the glacier and go to Tapovanam. There will be no disturbance for you. Nobody is there. लेकिन महाराज जी भिक्षा कहाँ से मिले? Where will you get भिक्षा from? Correct? Correct? So which is the ideal place? अरे जहाँ ध्यान लगता है वही अच्छा जगह है. I had some contemplative experiences on the local train going up and down. Environment is supposed to help, but what has to happen inside. Okay, yeah. Yeah, we try to create an environment. We try to create an ashram setup, etc., where you can immerse yourself in the knowledge. All that is true. It helps. But finally, you are carrying an environment inside you. Yeah. You are carrying it inside you. Everyone who comes to Rishikesh doesn't come always as a seeker. Nowadays, most people who come there come for adventure sports and yoga and things like that. Rishikesh has become a different place. Not the center of Vedanta it once was. So this guy came, I remember this guy. He came and he wore the saffron dress himself. Both Virakta Mahatma tha. Ekdam total Virakta. But he didn't understand Hindi very well. So some people directed him to say, Wahan do Safed Mahatma hai. There are Mahatmas in white. Okay. They are not sannyasis, they are in white. Mahatmas. वो आपको अंग्रेजी में बताएगा. He will teach you in English. So the boy came. Boy means what? I was also young that time. I was a student. He came. So he said, yeah, whenever I have the time, I'll explain things to you. Fine. Chal raha. And total vairagi, He is comfortable sitting anywhere, sleeping anywhere. Puch. And he is from Mallu land, Kerala. So I told him, one day, I watched him for a few days. I told him one day, Kerala is a great place to be in, But once you finish your school, you must get out of Kerala. If you continue there, too much of emotional hassles will take place. You will fall in love with someone, etc., and it will never work out. The society will keep you apart. Kerala is a place like that. The guy was looking at me as though shocked, as though I had revealed some great truth about himself. I said, what happened? Did that happen to you too? Ah, Swamiji, that's why I'm here. I said, so you are here because you lost a girlfriend, okay? Yeah. I said, how keen are you of being a sadhu? Are you really happy with this life? Nah. So I said, here is some nice paper, etc. Make an application to a couple of, you are a doctor, make an application to a couple of hospitals outside Kerala and see whether you can get a job or something. So I got a job in Bangalore within 3 months' time. In 3 months' time, he had picked up enough to start the journey. I said, Bangalore, one of my Guru Bhais is there, you can learn from him. So he went to Bangalore. Then after a couple of years, I got a letter from him saying that he's getting married and things like that. I said, very good. After that, I lost touch with him. That's okay. You carry your atmosphere within you, not outside you. He was carrying grief, etc., which I helped handle. So once the grief is over, then what is the real priority comes up. Otherwise, it's called smashana vairagya, nashta rajyam, nashta bharya. You got a vairagya because you visited the smashana, you went for your cremation of your friend and got great vairagya. What is his life? Or nashta rajyam, the king lost his kingdom, abhi kya karega, sadhu ban jayega. Nashta bharya, because you lost your wife, either to the Lord death I am talking about, or some neighbor character. Nashta bharya, you wanted to become sadhu. There is another vairagya, it's called prasuti vairagya, the vairagya of deliveries. Oh my God, this is so traumatic, I don't want to have another child, never again. It's all forgotten. And people go in for a second child also. This is all mentioned in the Shastra, that's what I am talking. I am not cooking up anything, okay? Prasuti Vairagya, it is mentioned. Yeah. So, that is why Vichidya it happens. I am not forgotten from where I took off, okay? How the meditation happens to be broken up, because a lot of things will come up from your subconscious and things like that. A lot of things will come up from the environment to disturb you. So that contemplation will be disturbed. We are not asking you to practice a disturbed meditation. But we are saying in meditation, disturbances are natural. Later on, he will classify into 4 major obstacles and how to handle them. We will see that. Yeah. We will see that. So, this breaking up of Dhyanam is very important to own up the knowledge. Remember this. If you have not had enough exposure to Vedanta, you cannot do Dhyanam. How will you do Dhyanam? Advitiya vastu nahi na, vritti pravaha. The vritti pravaha, the flow of thoughts, should be to the Advitiya vastu. You don't know what is the Advitiya vastu. Then how do you do Dhyanam? That's why in yoga it is about only quietening the mind, which is a great preparation. Which is a great preparation. It's the height of mastery. If you can think when you want and stop thinking when you want, that's great mastery here. Why? Because your mind is like a samurai sword. Yes, razor sharp weapon it is. So does the samurai carry the sword in his hand all the time? Naked sword in the hand? No, it is sheathed. You draw it when you need to and you put it back to the sheath when you don't need it. Similarly, your mind, you think when you want, you stop thinking when you don't want. Why wasting your energies? Just be awareful, diffuse awareness, don't think. And think when you want to. If you can do that, great mastery. No? What a mastery you have over the mind. we have not been able to stop our inner chatter. So if you can't stop your inner chatter, do that type of meditation, japa, dhyanam, etc., just to quieten the mind. Get into Sakshi Bhava meditation, where you're just witnessing the thoughts, let the thoughts come and go. Let the thoughts be Ayaram, Gayaram. You are the constant. All these will help mastery of the mind, so that that breaking up doesn't happen. So on the Advitya Vastu Nidharana can be there only if you have been exposed to Vedanta. If you look at the yoga books, they will talk about it as quietening the mind. And modern yoga teachers call it a Shunya meditation. Atma is not Shunya, okay? Shunya is emptying your thoughts. There is no thoughts. How can Atma be Shunya? That's like saying I am non-existent. The existent character only can say he is non-existent. How can a non-existent guy say he is non-existent? Yeah. So an existing guy out of delusion can say I am non-existent. No, some of you all Buddhist masters talk about it. Yeah. I've had a lot of discussion with Buddhist masters, and they all admit that Shunya is not really emptiness. It is the source of all creation, etc. They all accept that. So we coined up a new translation, non-conceptual reality, which they are happy with. The Zen masters, etc., that I discussed with some of the Buddhist masters I discussed with, they are happy with that term. It has yet to gain currency. That will take 50 years. Okay. A non-conceptual reality. Some of you actually coined a new term. Nah. There is no originality in Vedanta, okay? That's a problem. Non-conceptual reality is another facet of presenting Nirgunam Brahman. Brahman without any gunas. The gunas are conceptual. Therefore, non-conceptual reality, okay? I have not invented any new term. I just presented a new facet of the same thing. I will never claim originality in Vedanta, problem. Yeah. Becomes a problem because the pramana goes haywire then knowledge will not happen. So this type of contemplation. In yoga it will be only emptying the mind. Okay. In Vedanta it will be focusing on the reality. Huge difference. That's why one goes into Andha Samadhi, the other goes into Jnana Samadhi, which is the next one. What is that?
Swamiji, one
Yeah.
thought I have.
Yeah.
You said Ashtanga Yoga, when you introduced Ashtanga Yoga, it's more like a preparation for Vedanta.
Correct.
Now, the last one, you said is requiring certain
Correct.
amount of Vedantic.
Yeah. It's a preparation for Vedanta to own up the knowledge. See, the first 5 steps will make you ready to be a good listener. Up to Dharana will help you be a good listener of Vedanta, good student. Then if you want to proceed further and own up the truth, then also the last 3 steps will help you. So it is not sequential in the sense that you first do all that thing for 5 years, practice yoga and then come to Vedanta. No. Though I have a student who said that very, very beautifully in one of the Vedic wisdom festivals, She said it very, very beautifully. She said, first 25 years of my life, I was looking for happiness outside. Okay, I was looking for happiness outside. I was chasing everything here, there, romance, got married, this, that, everything. Next 25 years of my life, I was looking for happiness inside because I became a yoga teacher. After that I came to Vedanta and discovered it is neither inside nor outside, it is me. Do you all remember who is the lady who said that?
Falguni.
Falguni. She said that very beautifully. She is here, I think, joining in from Panchgani. Falguni said that. Correct. Eh? Yeah. So it happens like that also. It can happen like that also, but generally you go side by side with things. No? Yeah. So if it is using only as preparation, then you will do the Shunya meditation, the emptying the mind meditation. Okay. There are other meditations in yoga also. I don't want to go into that. Dharma, Mega, Samadhi, etc. They will talk about. Where you are going into all Siddhi, powers of Siddhi, etc. connecting up your mind with Hiranyagarbha, all that thing is there. But that becomes complete distraction and you run into a trap. You know, yeah. You get a lot of people following you, you'll become a Jagat Guru, all right. Yeah. Yeah. But moksha will become, distracted from that. It will become major distraction. Okay. Samadhi stuktaha savikalpa eva. Okay. Then he is saying what is samadhi is what I have already described as savikalpa samadhi in verse 194. In verse 194, if you remember, savikalpa nama jnatri jnanadi vikalpayan apekshadi advitiya vastuni. You are recognizing the advitiya vastu as yourself, but there is a knower known difference still continuing. A subtle knower known difference is continuing. Because what you are practicing is that. What you are practicing. So between dhyanam and samadhi and savikalpa samadhi, there is no real difference. This is just a deeper form of meditation. Dhyanam will be a little bit more superficial. Or dhyanam you can take as japa dhyanam, quietening the mind, etc., which is what I do when I am teaching meditation. Japa dhyanam, etc., that part is dhyanam. Savikalpa samadhi is when I am putting in nididhyasanam. So savikalpa samadhi is nididhyasanam. The nididhyasanam of Vedanta is savikalpa samadhi. So savikalpa samadhi you practice. Meaning nididhyasanam, it looks as though you are practicing because there is an effort. There is a choice, there is an effort. Okay. Therefore that way it is called a practice. At the same time it is not karma phala practice. Why? The beginning and end are the same. There is no process. What is the beginning of savikalpa samadhi or nididhyasanam? I am Brahman. What is the ending point? I am Brahman. बीच में क्या है? I am Brahman. So there is no progress. Whereas in other types of dhyanam, manasa puja, etc., there is progress. First is invocation, then asanam, all that progress hota hai na. Then snanam, then vastram, then alankaram, dhupam, deepam, naivedyam. There is a progress there. Therefore that is manasa karma. Whereas meditation is not, contemplation is not manasa karma, because beginning and end is same. It ends where it begins. If an action ends where it begins, it's not an action. Action should have progress. Yeah. Now don't tell me, Swamiji, some actions, if you are running around in a circle, it ends where it begins. Yeah, but in between you went all over the world and came back. Okay. So, savikalpa samadhi's contemplation is what you practice. Then, nirvikalpa samadhi happens. Nirvikalpa samadhi will happen. You cannot practice nirvikalpa samadhi. You can practice only savikalpa samadhi. Because savikalpa samadhi. Yes, Sashi?
So this, sometimes when it applies to me only, when I am not able to concentrate, a mala helps.
Correct. All these are aids. A mala. There are so many other aids like that. Some tapes, guided meditation tapes, all these, some meditation music. I personally don't like meditation music, but some people who have very disturbed minds, it helps them. Minds are very disturbed. So some music in the background helps them. I personally don't like meditation music, but some people it helps. When I want to get into nididhyasanam, etc., I don't use mala. When I want to do a fixed number of japa, I do mala. I take a mala. Why? Because what are you doing in a mala? You are creating an association between the chant and the finger movement. So if one thing stops, the other thing will also stop. And because this is touch sensitive, mala moving, and there is movement there. If it stops, you will become more awareful. It will bring your mind back. That is how the association is created. You use a mala. At the same time, that association is not always created if you are not alert. That's why Kabir said that mala to karme firai. Mala is going on in the hand. Okay, jeeb fire mukmahi. The tongue is moving here in the mouth, uttering all the japa. Ram 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 Ram. Doing it. Manava to chahod sai fire. Mind is moving all over. Yah to sumiran nahi. This is not contemplation. Yeah, not contemplation. See, the human mind can use anything to become awareful, and the same human mind can make anything mechanical. So, if you want to do meditation, etc., you have to learn to be very, very alert. That's why I said the foundation of meditation is made in your life, how alert you are in your day-to-day living. One quality if you have to develop to become spiritual, it is that. Be very alert and awareful in everything that you are doing. You will not go down by the lift and then suddenly have a doubt, did I lock the door or not? That doubt comes because you are not awareful when you locked it. To be very awareful. So the more awareful you are, the better it is. The foundation is learned, is made there. If you are awareful, any technique can help you. If you are not awareful, any technique you will take and make it mechanical. Make it routine. That is the problem. That's why in many physical and mental practices or even pranayama practices, there is always gradations. Why gradations? Because the tendency of the human mind to make it mechanical once you have gained comfort with it. Yeah. Do Anulom Vilom Pranayama. You keep holding your nose and doing it. After some time it becomes mechanical. Now do it without using your hands to support. Only by your mind you are supposed to take from in and out, on and out. वो थोड़ा मुश्किल है. Because where will the control come from? And what will be the quality of that breathing? And after some time it has to go down from the Ida, cross over at the perineum, come up from the Pingala, and vice versa.
COVID helps because they say don't touch your nose, don't touch your.
Anything is the same. Listen to what I am saying. And then third, you take in from both. You take it up the Sushumna Nadi, bring it down and then back out. Oh my God, ये सब कैसे जाएगा breathing? जाता है. Graded. You don't do it in 1 year. You do it over 5-6 years. Then हो जाता है. For that I should know the pathway, na? You should know the pathway. People think it is like this here. No, it is not. Pathway goes right around your head. So, why are we doing it graded practice? Graded so that you will be easier. Your mind will not make it mechanical. Why? Because increasing the level of difficulty, therefore you have to pay attention to do it. What is all this? It's all meant for mastery of the mind. If you have a mastered mind, you don't need any of these practices. You don't need meditation also. Remember one of the teachers I studied from in Rishikesh, Harihara Tirthaji. Someone came and asked him, Swamiji, how many hours you meditate every day?
Yeah,
Says, Beti, why are you putting this disturbance called meditation into my mind? My mind is in Brahman. Abhi aur kya karne ka? Wherever the mind goes, it is awake to Brahman, the reality that I am. Now why do I have to do special meditation? वो सब हो गया. Been there, done that. Until you can say that, you need to do. So that you can say, I've been there, done that. You can say, I've been there, done that only if you've been there and done that, no, not otherwise. So that is where the whole thing comes from. So the whole practice, etc., important. Without that practice, it won't happen. Yeah. Without that practice, it won't happen. So you need to practice that. So with all that, the whole thing will be clear. Now, okay, the next topic is what are the various obstacles to samadhi, I think. Where is it? Yes, obstacle to samadhi and their removal. Okay. But that we will see next class, because as I said, I am supposed to report to Shankara Mata. I am supposed to be there for the Mahahuti, the Purnahuti and the Kalashabhishekam and the Mahadeeparana. So the last step of that puja I am supposed to be. They started the puja at 11, that's okay. I know they will finish only by 12:30, 1 o'clock. So I will be there in time for the ending. So today we will call it a day. Okay. Happy Ram Navami to all of you. Celebrate Rama today at least. Yeah. Go do some namaskara to Rama before your lunch and everything. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you,
Okay.
Swami.
Om Tat Sat. Take care.
Thank you, Swami.